Hello, hello, Tinman here in the BAM. Here I've got a nice little bass box from my buddy Grant. We have a 10 BTM 6.2 HG.V.STG. Stands for 2x6 HG variable staged. Variable power 2-peel, 6-peel. Then your light. So you can run it straight 6 by flipping up your 6. You can press your 2-peel or flip up your 2-peel for running straight, you know, your little 2-peel 2290 driver. If you want to run 2x6, flip them both up. So right now the amp is in standby. So the amp can cool down, you know, do whatever it wants. Now I also went ahead and felt like we needed some extra lighting, so there's 2 fans that are super quiet that make more than enough airflow for this cabinet. And back behind here is a darkened type plexiglass, and I backlit the case, and we'll turn off the lights here in just a second. But we'll go ahead and go to the inside. You see the backlit, and you'll see I've got some over here. Well, kind of give you a quick overview of it. Now this little box is pretty hot to be what it is. I actually contacted my customer and said, hey, let me build you another one, let me keep this one. This one turned out very well, very what's the word in our industry, hot. It turned out really nice. It's a little bit thinner profile case. I was trying to keep it kind of slim for the customer, so you wouldn't have a, you know, the other case is about 1.5 inches taller. You know, that's the other main reason why I couldn't put fans here, because the power supplies are really close to the top. But these 2 fans give it more than enough airflow. I mean, if you put your hand in the back, I mean, it's got really good airflow. It's enough to cool this cabinet, so shouldn't have to worry about that. Let's turn off the lights. Let's come back. Let's turn off the lights, and we'll be right back and show you what it looks like. All right, we're back. So you can see that the light is illuminating through the LEDs. You can see the Tinman stickers there. It's not quite as bright as this, but I mean, still they are illuminated. It doesn't look too bad at all. So I just want to kind of give you an idea. Those LEDs are super duper bright. All right, so let's turn the lights back on, go around to the back of the amp and show you some demo. Power invested in me by videography, editing, and whatnot. You didn't have to wait very long. So here we've got a little 120 volt bass amp. Here's some information on the back. There's your out to antenna, in from radio. So there's your in, your out, and of course your serial number. This back area has been blocked off to only allow airflow through this little small area right here. All right, so let's put the old Camaroo down here. Well, we don't necessarily have to turn it around. All right, so we're gonna start off turning the power on, and we'll go to 2-peel. But let's get up here first. So on the meters, let's see here. Make some changes over here. Here we go. Make sure I'm on the right radio. Make sure the voltage, amperage. Yep. Okay. So, and I still got my probe hooked up for working earlier. We have a 2500 watt slug. We can put it in peak. We're really not going to use it at this point. 1000 watt slug. We'll put it in peak. 5 watt slug to the bird dummy load, and then we have a 5 watt slug between, with a cable right in the way. 2 cables right in the way. See if we can move this one. 5 watt slug between the amplifier and the radio, and then a 50 watt slug forward from my radio. So we'll read this in 1,000 watt slug. Bottom, there'll be 200, 400, 600, 800, 1,000. There'll be your 100 mark hasher, and that's your 200 mark hasher. 300, 400. And we're just reading peak on two 2290s, and this one we really don't care about at this point. So we're just going to key it up and show you what let's show you what the radio's doing. And average. So 50 watt slug. Now this is a type 50, so I'll be reading it middle scale. It's 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. We'll read it in average first, and I do have my new peak kit in. This one is not a multiplier, it's just a standard peak. I do have my new peak kit in. I'll be getting it installed. So we're just reading average right now. Amplifier is off. So we're reading about, I'm a little shaky, 15, 18 average going into it. We'll see what peak is. About 40 watts peak. That's currently what we got going into it from this particular 99. And if you see on my other videos, I don't have a mic hooked up to this, which I can, but I don't currently have one hooked up, so we're just using tone injection. So let's turn on the 2-pil and turn that off, and let's see what we're getting for peak on the 2290s for now. And do these 2 meters because we don't really need 2500 watt slug. So peak 340, 340. You see that, the reflect? Now here's your reflect between the amplifier and the radio. 5 watt slug. Not even an 1/8 of a watt. I need to order me a 500 milliwatt, or at least a 1 watt slug. I don't have one, but I do need one. So, all right. So you see that. Now, let's swap radios and show you what. Well, let's do this right here first. Let's turn this off. Let's go to average mode. For average mode, let's make it even tighter because most people won't do this. Let's put a 500 watt slug in. We're going to be reading average. I turned the peak light off. You see it on, off, on, off. So we're reading that middle scale. There's 100 and 200. Now, we're just on the peak reading radio right now. So let's see what we're getting for average here. On a 500 watt slug, we'll kind of give you both. About 150 average with just my peak reading. So now I can move down to my average radio and go in reverse. So I'm going to turn off the 2-pil. Let's go to the average 99. And let's first see here what the radio is doing in average mode at this point. We're doing about 7. Let me turn that up just an edge. Well, help if I turn the right one. Let's see here. All right, we'll key it back up, 50 watt scale. Turn it back down. There we go, about 12 bird. All right, so let's see what the 2-pil is doing an average on 500 watt. 180, 160, 180 average off a 2-pil 2290s. Let's see here. So you can see the 2290s. 2290s. So that's what your 2-pil is currently doing. Average wise, let's go to peak mode. We can use a 500 watt slug. It may go off the chart for this radio. So about 300. So you see the averages kind of change. All right. So now let's kick on the 2x6. All right. So I turn my peak off. We'll be now reading this for average bottom scale. 2500 watt in peak. So now I've got the 2x switch on, and then we're on just the average radio right now. So let's see what it'll do average wise. 1,000 watt average, 2500 watt peak. slams 1,000 and almost 1750. It's about 1725 or so on the peak scale. Let's look at your reflect between the radio and the amplifier. Barely any again. Let's see that again. All right, let's look at your reflect going to the dummy load. Half a watt, half a whole watt. Now I'm gonna turn the peak kit off so we can see average, because we were slamming that 1,000-watt slug. See what we're reading on that top scale. Oh, about 1,300 average. Let's see here. Let me adjust my RF power down my radio. See if we can lower it a little bit. That didn't do much at all, did it? Still didn't. That's about 1,250. All right, so let's go to my peak reading radio and see what we get for average to start off with. All right, so we're just going to be reading average for right now. There's a lot less. Average. So about 700 average off of my peak reading radio. This amp is hot. I am really happy with the outcome of it, the way that it turned out. So I've been hammering on it, talking on it with my antenna. My reflect is less than a watt with my antenna. Make sure with an HG box you keep your SWRs 1.3 or less. Keep your reflect on this particular box 3 or 4 watts or less, and man, it'll last you a lifetime. The power supplies are sitting around, I believe, 14.6, 14.7 ish. I don't remember the exact number. I've got them written down on the underside of it. So, but all right, Mr. Grant, I appreciate it, buddy. I hope you enjoy this. Take good care of it. I'll put your information in the box, and we'll talk soon, buddy. Y'all take care. If there's anything I do for you, Tinman down here in the BAM. We're good. We're gone. Bye. 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 Tinman back here one more time with this 2x6 stage from Mr. Grant. I forgot to show you spectrum. I've gotten a major glare here. You might be able to see that we're at 100 kilohertz by division. So if I start off going back to 50 kilohertz by division, let's show you what spectrum is. Really good and clean. Just carry that up to 100 kilohertz by division. Still really, really good and clean for a C-class box. Now we're at 200 kilohertz by division. First and second harmonics right here at the end. Good. Good, 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 good. All right, I forgot about that. For a C-class box, that is really good and clean. All right, I'm going again. Tinman in the BAM. Bye, 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 bye.